It's time for the great duck move of 2021. If you didn't know, about 2 weeks ago in the UK, the government, or AFA, said there was going to be a nationwide avian flu prevention zone lockdown. And all that really means is we've got loads of avian flu cases and we need to keep better security, biosecurity on our birds, which means foot dips, feeding and drinking inside, making sure your birds are within a netted area, and basically keeping better control of where and what they do. However, a major change to this year is that your ducks and geese and waterfowl can no longer be with your chickens. They have to be separate. Now for me, that is a slight pain because it's a change to previous rules. So I was set up to keep everything outside, but of course, now I can't. So I'm a bit behind because I haven't got anywhere that I could separate them out until now, because I've had some fencing arrived and the plan is to move all of the ducks, geese and waterfowl into the barn and allow just the chickens to have this area. And it means that if there is a complete housing lockdown, I have got room to house my chickens permanently in this. It's not ideal, and I hate the housing lockdowns because it's not good for the birds. But on the flip, it's better to have them inside for a few months than they get avian flu and die. So I could keep all the chickens in there permanently, but it is not big enough to keep all the ducks and geese as well. And quite honestly, the amount my phone has been pinging with new avian flu confirmed locations, I think it's more than last year. You know, I'm getting one every couple of days. If you sign up to AFA to DEFRA, it's free. You don't have to if you have under 50 birds, but it's worthwhile because they just text you all the information so you don't have to go searching. And I do feel like there's been more cases this year, and also a wider spread. Last year, I feel there were less cases and they were kind of more localized in specific areas. This year, I feel like there seems to be more spread across the whole of the UK. So I feel like a complete housing lockdown may happen, which is why I'm even more intent on getting this situation sorted ASAP. So the ducks, the geese, and the other waterfowl are going to be moving into the barn. And as I mentioned the other day, in some ways, it will actually benefit me. Hello, ladies. I extended their paddock the other day, so you can kind of see the brown line where they were, and now they've got all of this. But I think it could work to my advantage, because any of you that keep ducks and geese know how messy they are, and especially in winter, the amount of mud is ridiculous. Chickens are a lot better. They won't scratch it up. They won't make it all really, really muddy. Whereas ducks and geese, as soon as you give them water, they spill it all out. It is gross. So in some ways, bringing them indoors to a place that has a concrete foundation, which means I can just sweep it out and clean it out, could actually be beneficial in the long run. It will take more to clean them out, but they'll be cleaner and better. So what I have got is I have got these Harris panels. So these are basically security fencing. They use it on building sites and they stand it as kind of a periphery boundary zone. They're galvanized along the edge. They've got this welded mesh, which is quite small. So no fox or chicken is getting out or through that. And then they have these blocks that they stand in to create that barrier. Now, if you buy these brand new, they cost about 30 quid each, and it quickly stacks up. I've got 25 here, I think. But it's also the sort of thing that a lot of people, smallholders, farmers, builders, have just laying around their garden and they want. So it's well worthwhile going into your local Facebook groups. And that's exactly what I did. And I just put a post saying, does anybody want to make a quick bit of money before Christmas? Have you got any of these? I will buy them. So I've got all the feet, all the panels, and then a couple of gates as well. I haven't worked out how they work or if they're going to fit on. So we'll have to have a little bit of a play around with that. The other thing is, although the fence panels are galvanized all the way along, they have little lips. So this is the top and then this is the bottom. And I'm thinking that maybe once they're dropped into these, there will be a bit of a skirt at the bottom, which A, my birds could slip out and under, and B, maybe a fox could squeeze through. So I may have to chicken wire the entire bottom surround, and I will have to chicken wire the top because foxes are very good climbers. So let's look in the barn where we're going to put it. So our current barn is a fantastic cattle barn because it's really open and well ventilated, which is perfect for cattle. I don't have any cattle, so it'd be really nice once we get this properly built and waterproofed. So I would put the poultry on this side, but this always gets super, super wet. So I'm gonna have to build it this side, and I hope that we don't have too much prevailing gales coming and bringing the wind with it. There's also a couple of holes in the roof, but I might just situate the duck bath beneath that. So when it rains or if there's snow and it melts, it just drips straight into the duck bath. So we've got the sheep down here, our new sheep. We've got Peaches recovering over here. We've got a pen in case some of the goats give birth anytime soon. And we'll set up the new poultry or the waterfowl pen about here. So currently I'm thinking we're going to do a 2-panel by 1-panel wide area. I'll set it up, and if it looks too small, oh, you can barely see me. If it looks too small, I'll increase the size. I can make it as big as I need, really. I just don't want to limit the area in here because I want to lamb in here as well, so I don't want to kind of have this big blocky thing in the way. But let's bring some panels in and see how it looks. So I have a dilemma. It came with these clips, which you can put on and they clip it together, but they leave quite a gap. So I'm wondering whether just to good old-fashioned baling twine it, because then there won't be any gap, and the less gaps the better, because I am going to have to chicken wire all along the bottom here, as you can see. So I think I'm going to baling twine. I don't think I'm going to use the clips. I think it'll be fine. Definitely baling twine. Right solution, look. No gap at all. And it also means when I come to undo it, I can literally just cut them all off. So I'm liking the 2 by 1. It's quite a big area. So it goes from that corner, that's 1, and then 2 is here. Baling twine's working. I just wanted to show you down here. Look at this cool web. I hope you can see it. Look at that. I wonder who lives down there. I'm not about to stick my finger down there. The other thing is, we were given some gates with them, bought. So a couple of galvanized gates. They didn't come with the fencing. They're part of a kennel set, and I was going to add them, but I think it's going to be too much of a faff to try and attach them because they're different height, different width. So I'm going to just add another Harris panel here in this opening, And I'll just create a little catch here that I can open and close. So my entrance will just be from the middle in here. Doing stuff like this really gets me excited for when we've pimped the barn and got the whole thing watertight and waterproof. Because then imagine all this centre will be gone. The barn will be double the width with a concrete floor. And then we can have some of these panels up permanently as poultry housing, maybe along this back wall here. The other thing I should say is these panels, so I know a lot of you are in the US and you have chicken tractors made of cattle panels. We don't have cattle panels over here. So I'm going to make my chicken tractors out of 2 of these. So there'll be 2 of these panels, and imagine them as an arc, and then you build a back and a front. You put a little bit of skirting around the edge of wire, and then it is quite heavy, so you have to lift it and roll it with a sack trolley. But actually it makes quite a large chicken tractor to break all the individual breeding pairs and ducks and wildfowl and stuff into. So that's for next year, but for now, let's get the final door bit put on and then try and work out how we're going to cover this, because it's quite a size. I don't know. My face has gone again. There we go. I don't know if I've got enough mesh to cover the entire thing. The light in here is terrible, so I apologise. We have our base structure. You can't really see. Let's go in. Whee! So it really is quite large. It goes from there to here. Now I can easily skirt chicken wire along the bottom, so that's not a problem. My main problem now is how to cover the top, because it's quite a large area. The other option is that I don't cover the top, and in the daytime the the ducks and the geese just have the whole thing, and then I lock them away in something at night so they're fox proof. However, I have nothing to lock them away in either. So I need to come up with a solution. I don't know why I didn't think of it earlier. It's quite the obvious solution because I have so many panels and I've made it 1 panel wide. So I can just use a panel on the top. This can be static, so we can put panels all the way along. The only bit we'll have to sort of navigate is this big opening door. But that should work quite well. It also means if we have a big lockdown where we have to keep them properly housed, I can just put tarp over this, and then that will then stop any of the wild birds pooping through, and I actually may do that anyway. Well, it's the next day. I lost the light yesterday, so I managed to get the cage done, but I didn't manage to move the birds or get the mesh around the bottom. I'm going to be salvaging the chicken wire from this. So I kept the ducks, some ducks last year, I kept them in this as a breeding pen. It's an old polytunnel frame. The problem is the bars along the bottom have got rusted, and so it basically means I can't really pull it around anymore. So instead I'm going to take all the chicken wire off the frame. I'm going to use that for the cage, and the wire polytunnel frame I am going to grow pumpkins and gourds up it next year and use it as part of the pick your own pumpkin patch, because I don't just want to have a flat pumpkin patch. I've seen loads of those. I want to make it interesting, so I'm going to have loads of stuff growing up. But I'm going to take all of this chicken wire off and then attach it to that pen. Should only take me half an hour or so, and then we can start catching the birds and moving them. Well, like everything in life, that took longer than I thought it would do. So what I've done is I've left quite a large skirt of netting, and I started to attach it from the inside, and then I realized that was really, really stupid, because then if they push from the outside, they could push through. So I've gone around and I've attached it from the outside, so now if they push through, they can't get anywhere. There's a big skirt on the inside, as I said. I'm just going to straw it up, put the food, put the water in, and I'm going to bring some perches in, because most of them don't perch, of course, but muscovies quite like to perch. And then we'll start moving them in. And they're in! It's actually really nice to see them inside. I was going to film catching them, and then I completely forgot. But they are in. We're already losing the daylight, which is kind of depressing. Oh, sorry, my camera. But they're in. They're happy. And I'm happy I don't have to worry about super muddy grass and ducks, and the ducks and the chickens living together when they shouldn't be.